Happy Tuesday, traders. Welcome back to the channel. It's Jimmy Trades. Thanks for joining us today. Got a few things to go through in today's video. First of all, please sub to the channel, like the video, and feel free to leave a comment. Of course, turn on that notification bell. That way you're always up to date whenever I drop a new video. So we'll have a look today. We took a trade live during the London session. That was also alerted to the Trade Foundry community before we took the position. We've also got to talk about some prop firm giveaways, sales, and a new affiliation as well. And then we'll dive into the charts and we'll have we'll have a look at that trade recap as well. So first of all, let's head on over to the calendar. What do we have? 10 a.m. news today. JOLTS job openings. So, we're looking for medium to higher probability trading conditions on the 10 o'clock news. So that's where that volatility will come in. We may see some volatility at open, of course, and then JOLTS may also push price in a direction. So we'll wait and see how price plays out and then look to hunt from 10 a.m. Moving over to the charts now. All right, over on the charts. So let's mention, what do we got? We're going to look at the CL trade that we took during London. So we'll recap that. Also, remember that I am giving away two My Funded Futures 50K starter accounts. The winner will be drawn at the end of this week. Head over to my X account. You'll find the post there. It's also going to be in the description of this video. Follow the steps to enter, and good luck. We'll draw the winner on Friday, or winners on Friday. Also, My Funded Futures current sale, 25% off of the expert accounts for the whole month of February. Great deal. They don't come along very often for those expert accounts from My Funded Futures. And then Apex, 80% off. That ends tomorrow night. Okay, so if we want to get those evals before non-farm payroll and have a crack at one shot, one kill, we definitely want to get those evals sorted prior to then. And 80% off is a great way to go about it. Using code Jimmy across My Funded Futures and Apex, of course. And hang out to the end of the video and we'll have a chat about our new affiliation. All right, let's dive into the charts now. Having a look here at NQ. We're on the daily. Now, we were looking for price to move lower. We had this swing point candle close back inside the range, out of our point of interest, which was this gap. Okay. We're looking for price to move lower. Now that was looking like the play until these tariffs, this tariff war that's going on with the US and Canada and Mexico, until the tariffs were put on hold during the AM session yesterday, and price started to reflect that news and ended up closing higher. And these are the conditions we have to be prepared for. This seems to be how the market might react throughout President Trump's tenure. So we're just always going to make sure that we're protecting our positions with stop losses. That's for sure and certain. We've taken previous day high. I am going to look for price to move lower. We've got this low resistance liquidity here. We're still moving out of a point of interest. That's our most recent information. So I'm looking for price to move lower. At the moment, price has respected the 50% level of the previous day's range. So we're going to have to see, we'll drop down to the lower time frame and we'll see what we might be in for. Let's move to the 7 hour. Let's clear up that chart. So at the moment, London session was pretty well non-eventful. We are still in the range of the Asia session candle. So we'll be waiting to see what price wants to do as we come into the AM session. You know, is it possible that we sweep the low here before continuing to move higher, or vice versa? Or maybe we just stay in the range before, particularly before news happens. We'll see. We'll see what price wants to do. Let's move to the hourly. We do have a change in the state of delivery. So coming off this lower move, we push back up and close the gap. So we always know gaps love to be filled, all right? We see our change in the state of delivery right here. Currently, price is respecting that level. Okay, it's a bearish change in the state of delivery. And if we run our projections from the high to the low here, I'm using the low of the up close candle. That's the pivot there. So high, low, higher, high. This is our projection, and that would see price challenge this low down here. We have high resistance liquidity on our side of price, low resistance liquidity on the other side of price. We can also look at this as a unicorn. We have a breaker, bearish breaker. We have an FVG aligned with that breaker and a close through. So definitely potential for the price to run lower here should price remain in respect of this bearish change in the state of delivery. At the moment, price is doing that. All right. So bearish for NQ. Let's head over to ES. On the daily, slightly different story here on ES. NQ, obviously, we didn't have price at a bullish point of interest. But so we do have price and being the most recent information pushing out of this bullish FVG. So this is where, for me right now, I would have to lean on the lower time frames a little bit more than I would the daily, because we are stuck between PD arrays. What I do like this candle here, okay, because it is a bearish closure. It's a swing point candle out of a point of interest, okay. So I do like the idea that we might see price continue to move lower. But with conflicting ideas here, I'm actually going to have a neutral position on ES. Moving to the 7 hour. Similar to NQ, very similar structure, still inside the range of the Asia candle. So this was our range from the high to the low. This was the Asia move, and this was the London move. So pretty non-eventful. Moving to the hourly. This candle does stand out for me. There's no wick to the high side, so that will at some point in time act as a strong draw on liquidity. Is it now? I'm not so certain, because we do see, like NQ, this bearish change in the state of delivery. Price is respecting that level. It's also a bearish unicorn. And whilst price remains in respect of the change in the state of delivery, we can anticipate price to move lower. We have high resistance liquidity on our side of price, low resistance liquidity on the other side of price. And if we run our projections from high to the low being the bearish candle in this case, this is our target area. And it's a little bit beyond the lows here. Okay? But we do have relative equal lows as well to act as a draw. All right, moving to CL now. So I'm going to stay neutral only because of the daily. So this is for my daily idea, neutral, but starting to look like we could see lower prices on the lower time frame. All right, on CL. CL, you can see some executions there. That's from the trade I took earlier during the London session. I've been targeting the low down here at a minimum this low, and price just about swept that. Remaining bearish for oil. We're not at a point of interest. This is a strong bearish closure after sweeping multiple days highs, including this one here. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of highs that was swept, and then we had a strong bearish closure targeting this low. We nearly reached that low, but in particular my interest is this low here into the bullish FEG. Then I would look for our price was to react at that level there. So I'm going to remain bearish on oil. Let's have a look at the hourly. Again, we can see price did start to move outside of this downtrend. We can see that. You can see how strong that trend down here was. Yeah, price did start to move outside of that and close outside of that. We have tested and come back inside that trend. As we broke higher, we had some displacement, but then we see that we came through with another change in the state of delivery. And price has continued to respect the bearish movement lower. This is the low we're chasing. We now have equal lows or relative equal lows down here, anticipating for price to sweep the highs into this bearish FEG and then continue to fall lower based off the higher time frame. Let's drop down now and let's review this CL trade. Let's throw it in replay for a minute. We'll bring it back to around about here. So at this point in time, I already had an idea of seeing price move lower because of the structure from the hourly, pretty much exactly what we just looked at. Here we are. This is the hourly time frame here. These are the hourly candles. This is the 5-minute chart. So coming into London session, this is just prior here So these candles are just prior, but this is the breaker that I used. Okay. We have price pushing up into a bearish FVG on the hourly. And it's looking like it wants to close back inside the range of the previous candle. So at this point in time, there's still 40 odd minutes until the candle closure. So I've identified my breaker. I've identified the higher time frame point of interest, and that it looks like price wants to close back inside the range of the previous candle. So this is my narrative and logic that I'm building. This is how I'm framing my trade. As we move forward, price moves lower. Now, I traded on NQ and MNQ on another platform that was on TopStepX. On MNQ, price closed through the breaker at this point. On NQ, it was directly level with it. I market ordered in on NQ, on CL rather. I'm getting myself confused there. So on MCL, I should say, I was trading on TopStepX. Price closed through the breaker. That was enough confluence for me to say, all right, I'm going to look to execute this trade. So I market ordered in on TopStepX, and then when I came over back to CL on TradingView, I put in a limit order. Price filled us here, and then we waited. I initially had my stop just a touch lower. As the trade was moving, I decided to use this down close candle here, the one that formed the higher FEG, because now we have two, right? We've got two FEGs, one here and one here. We inverted an FEG. So this is our Pegasus formation. This is our stop hunt into the higher time frame point of interest. We have an FVG in the leg that took liquidity, and then we have an FVG in the leg that sweeps through the breaker. This is our Pegasus formation. As price is playing out here, I reevaluated my stop position, and I moved it to 50% of the down close candle here. Because we had the two FVGs, I just wanted that little bit of extra protection. So I sat my stop at 50% of that candle, and glad I did, because one tick away from stopping us out. Then price hits our TP. So that's how we build our narrative and logic. That's how I used my stop loss placement. That's how I was able to stay in this position and take 2R. So feel free to leave some comments, guys. If you're unsure of something, or if you want to ask any questions about this trade, drop a comment and I will respond. This trade was also alerted live in Trade Foundry. So jump into the description, Trade Foundry. Come and join us over in the Discord, guys. All right, let's move to 6E now on the daily. So we see price swept all this low resistance liquidity, respected the wick, this strong buyer's wick. We respected the 50% level of that. There was quite a strong bullish momentum yesterday. And again, we have a strong buyers coming in here. We've got equal highs. We have a bearish FEG. So I'm going to sit bullish until we reach this point of interest, and then we can assess what price is doing and how it's reacting once inside this level. Let's drop to the hourly quickly and we'll have a look. You can see when price gapped down, we then had a change in the state of delivery here. Price bounced straight off of it and respected it, and then we've continued to move higher. Still found some support here in this bullish FEG, closed through but immediately returned back and closed through the other side, so respecting that bullish FEG there. We've got those equal highs. Prices dip back into this hourly bullish FEG, so we can anticipate or look for price to reach higher. We do have low resistance liquidity and these relative equal lows. We do have low resistance liquidity on this side of price too, so this will be the interest or point of interest I'm watching to see where price reacts on that hourly bearish FEG. Jumping over to gold. Let's have a look at the daily. Huge expansion yesterday on gold. Lower, higher, back into the range. If price was to move lower, we moved out of this bullish FEG, so that was quite a strong move there. If price does move lower, we want to watch for this 50% level to be respected. 50% of this wick. I am going to remain bullish using the most recent information, which is this bullish FEG. Dixie now. Beautiful, beautiful bias there yesterday into this bearish FEG and price. Obviously we gapped up, but we did close that gap. Okay, that's why it looks a bit funky there, because this was the closing price and that was the opening price up here. Okay, but we did close that gap. With these series of lows here, I'll be looking at price to continue to move lower. A bearish for Dixie. Let's jump over to GBP. Have a look on the daily. Strong buyers wick here. Off this swing low. Respecting this bullish FEG as well. You can see that there. We haven't been able to close through that level. Looking for price to reach to the high. Didn't quite get that bias right yesterday. It's okay. So we'll reassess now and look to move higher. Moving to Bitcoin. Nice strong close yesterday, straight off the 50% of this week. We're moving lower. We're still inside the range of the previous day. I think we could anticipate price to at least reach up into this bearish FEG and see how we react to that level. So bullish for Bitcoin. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in today, and thanks for hanging around to the end. I wanted to sign off here and mention we now have an affiliation with Tradeify. I've started using Tradeify recently. I really do like their rules, their features, their platform is virtually second to none. It's very clean. Their Journaling is amazing. So it's a great platform. I'll have a link in the description if you want to grab any Tradeify accounts. Use that link to jump over there and check it out. Definitely recommend going and checking them out. They do have a current promotion running for February, which is 30% off all challenges and straight to SIM funded accounts. So if you use that link, that will give you 30% off those accounts. And they have quite an array of options. They have advanced accounts, 50K, 100K, 150K. They have their growth accounts, same thing, 50K, 100K, and 150K, and then straight to SIM funded, starting at as low as 25K account, and you can get 30% off all accounts right now. And remembering, guys, to jump over and join us in Trade Foundry, link in the description. We're looking forward to catching up in there, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.